Hello, welcome to Katrina's Creations. Today was a special requested video, and that is how to read a knitting chart. So many times when you buy a knitting pattern, it will come either charted or written. Sometimes it's both. Some people have a preference for one or the other, just the same as crochet patterns can be written or in a diagram form. The knitted can come in a written or charted version, and the charting can be a little confusing sometimes. So I thought I would explain how they work, and you can decide for yourself which one you prefer. So let's get started. This is a free pattern that I am demonstrating this from. It's actually from Lion Brand for a shawl collar slipover. So let's get started. And this is what a basic chart looks like. There is a key down below that tells you which the stitches are. Now, they are not uniform. They can vary from chart to chart. The majority of them do have a circle representing a yarn over, but other than that, the symbols can change from pattern to pattern. Now you read your right side rows are going to be your odd numbers, and the numbers are always over here to the right. Easy to remember, right side rows, the numbers are on the right. Your wrong side rows usually do not have a number, but you're going to knit them from the left. So your right side rows, you knit from the right. Your wrong side rows, you knit from the left. So it's easy to remember. Your right side rows, the number is on the right, and you knit from the right on the right side rows. On the left side are where your wrong side rows are. So let's look at this a little bit. Now I'll explain what this pattern is having you do. You'll notice each of these 6 stitches here have just a dot. If you look at the key, a dot on the right side, the RS is a symbol for right side. It says to purl. So you're going to know that you're going to purl these 6 stitches. The next symbol coincides with knit 2 together. So again, you're going to purl your 6 stitches, knit 2 together. The next symbol is a circle, which is going to be a yarn over, followed by 6 more dots, which again for the right side is a purl. So this would be row 1. Row 2 is a wrong side, so you would start on the left. Now you have these same dots all the way across, but on the wrong side, if you look at your key here, WS indicates wrong side, and it tells you to knit. So you're going to knit back across all of these stitches. This is going to create a stockinette pattern because you've purled the first row, you're knitting the second row. Now we'll look back at the third row. The third row, again, is on the right side. So you have 6 squares with dots in them, which for the right side is a purl. So you are going to purl 6. There's the yarn over symbol, so you will do a yarn over. Now this time your key has you doing an SSK, which is a slip, slip, knit. So you're going to slip, slip, knit, and then it has 6 more purl stitches. Again, on the wrong side, this would be row 4. You're starting from the left. They have the dot, but again, looking here on the wrong side, you're going to knit those stitches. So that's a simple basic chart. Now we'll look at one that's a little bit more detailed. And I'm sorry this is still a little fuzzy. My camera does not correct for close-ups. So, but if I get this any further away, you're not going to be able to see the pattern itself. So the first 2 rows here, row 1 and row 2, which would be your wrong side, are empty. Now if you look back up in the same chart up here, an empty stitch or an empty square if you're on the right side, indicates you're going to knit. If it's an empty stitch on the wrong side, it's going to indicate that you're going to purl. So we know that our first row across here is number 1. This is our right side. We are going to knit all the way across. When we come back on row 2, we are going to purl all the way across. Row 3 is where the pattern starts. So we have 5 stitches that are empty. That means there is going to be 5 knit stitches. Then we have 3 dots in each of the next 3 squares, which we know, based on our chart up here, that is on the right side. Those are going to be purl stitches. So you're going to purl these 3 stitches, and then you have 5 empty squares again. Remember, you're on the right side, so you're going to knit these 3, or knit these 5, purl these 3, knit these 5, and they have you repeating this all the way across. Now it also has some indicators right here. This is for size. It has these brackets here showing, and this section here, which is in bold, shows that these are the stitches that would be repeated for a size small to medium. These next 21 stitches within these 2 brackets are for the large size, and for the extra large it has you repeating 25 stitches from here to here. So this just shows you where the chart stops based on which size you are making. Next, we're going to look at a little bit more complicated pattern. This is part of the same pattern. This is just chart number 3. Sometimes you will have, when you make a project using a chart, you will have a different pattern chart for the front. Say it's a garment, you're going to have a different chart for the front, for the back, for the opposite side of the front. So one for the left, one for the right, one for the back, and a separate pattern for your sleeves. So that's what the different charts indicate, and they say it right up here. So I'm going to slide this up so we can see our key right here and refer to that. We're going to look at row 1, which again is our right side. And this is a smaller chart, so it's hard to see, but there are 2 dots, which indicate on the right side that these are going to be 2 purl stitches. And then we have the next symbol, which would indicate it is a knit 2 together, followed by a circle, which is a yarn over, 2 more dots, which would be 2 more purls. Then we have 2 empty spaces, which would be 2 knit stitches, followed by 2 more dotted squares, which would be purls. And then we just have to count, just sort of like counted cross stitch. You're going to count how many blank spaces. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're going to have 10 empty stitches, which would be a knit stitch. So we're going to knit 10. And then we have this new symbol here, which is knit 3 together, followed by a yarn over, followed by a knit stitch, followed by a yarn over, followed by a knit stitch. 2 dots again are 2 purls, 2 empty squares, which are 2 knits, 2 dots, which would be 2 purls, followed by a yarn over, followed by an SSK, followed by 2 purls. That would be row 1. A lot of times a pattern will have lines down through the middle that will tell you which section to repeat. So it might have a line down through here and through here saying repeat these sections all the way across. So you would now start row 2, which again, it's on the wrong side, so you would start on the left. It has the 2 dots, but we know that on the wrong side, those are 2 knit stitches. It's the opposite. So we have 2 knit stitches, followed by 2 empty stitches, which are purl on the wrong side, followed by 2 knit stitches, 2 purl stitches, 2 knit stitches, and then we're going to purl all the way across this empty space here. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 stitches across, followed by 2 knit stitches, 2 purl stitches, 2 knit stitches, 2 purl stitches, and ending with 2 knit stitches. It isn't a difficult thing to do, it just takes a little bit of getting used to. I hope you found this helpful. If you have, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in our next video.